Hello. So rather than doing a separate video on different things, we just wanted to do a video to capture YouTube up to where we are with everything, because we've done quite a few things, and to do a separate video on each thing is going to take a long time for us and a lot more effort. Just want to briefly go over what we've done, what each stage is at, and where we're going to go in the future, and some other things as well. Talking about the floor, so bought some bits of plywood and then I cut it out, battens down on the floor, glued and screwed them, insulation in between them, and then a vapor barrier over the top. With the insulation board underneath, we put expanding foam down first and then put the insulation board on top so that we can make it as flush as possible. Because the floor's all got ribs, and we put the battens in between the ribs, we had all that excess space, so I wanted to fill that, so expanding foam was the best way to do it, and it helped rise it up. When it was rising, I put the board back on top and put stuff heavy on top so it would stay flush. For the floor, I used 12mm thick insulation board. This floor is going to get a vinyl laminate or something over the top, so it is getting a little bit ruined at the moment, but it doesn't matter because the bits that are going to be on show are going to be covered by laminate or vinyl. Wheel arches I did recently. I just put some foam on there that I got some from work just because they were chucking it out. Did one wheel arch really well and the other one not so well, so I'm going to have to do that one again. With the side struts, that's where all the cladding is going to get attached to, so I've just put it everywhere that's going to make sense for that. For the struts, just used 9mm plywood again, still trying to keep it as close to the walls as possible, just because I want it to feel as big as I can, so any material I'm going to use, I'm trying to use as thin as possible. The insulation board I've got for the walls and the ceiling is 25mm thick. We've cut out the insulation board in some places ready, but haven't done it in every place. Haven't done it in one spot in the roof because there's going to be a vent that goes there, which is when we're cooking, or just for general airflow, we're going to need it. So I need to decide where I want it. Not sure whether to have it in the centre or to the side, so then it'll be directly over where I'm cooking. Could be better. Because of the insulation, I have to think about where we're going to put cables and stuff. So at the moment I have routed some cables. I routed a cable for my 12-volt supply to be on my right hand side. Obviously I'm going to have one on the left hand side as well. And for an 240-volt supply, which is going to come from an inverter, onto the right hand side, which can be used for an electrical cooker. So using the Zetec DS250 SE, I believe that's the one I've got, I'll correct it if it's not. Oh, that rhymed. I needed to look onto YouTube to see how to wire up the ignition. With the Volkswagen T6 there isn't a fuse map, so I had to use a multimeter to find out where the voltage was coming from when I turned the ignition. So I did that a few times just by turning the ignition, seeing if the voltage was there, turn it off, see if the voltage was gone. Managed to figure it out. Then I saw on YouTube that I needed a fuse piggyback, so I wired that in, and I managed to get it working. So I also drilled a hole through the engine bay into the main cabin so that I could run the cable from the starter battery to the leisure batteries when they are in place. This cable is going to get routed underneath the floor that's there. Our plan for the front floor is also to AstroTurf it. I think it will look quite nice. Some people I've spoken to aren't too keen on it, but I did see it in a van build before and I thought it was really cool. With the step by the sliding door, the edging that I was put on there, I didn't do it very well. When you step on it, it just ends up breaking because there's a big gap there. So my idea is to take all that stuff off, use some better material next time, and then just to block that space out with more plywood, just so that when you step on it, you're stepping onto that plywood. So the swivel seat, so we've gone from a double passenger seat to a single seat. The reason why we have done this is because if it is raining outside, then we can easily come into the back without having to put coats on or whatever, and it's just going to make it a lot easier. Also means we can just rotate that chair around and both sit opposite each other if we want to, or have enough room for more seats for people if somebody wants to join us. So the swivel chair is really easy to operate. There's just a red handle on the side, but first you have to move it as far forward as you can, pull the red lever, rotate it, and then move the chair back.
So
now Holly joins me, and we're going to talk about future plans for the van and something else in a minute as well.
we are at the moment trying to plan out basically our plan for the roof. So we need to work out where the ventilation fan is going to go. We're looking at some kind of bars to have on the roof, whether we want storage boxes on the roof. So we're kind of just working out at the moment a solid plan for that before we then actually cut any of the holes.
But because we're doing that planning, we also have to think about what products are there available and their dimensions, because it's not just, it's all well and good saying, oh, put a storage box here, or we'll put these bars here or anything. If it's not something that we're actually able to get, and we've already done that, like cut the hole or something, then it could lead to a lot more problems. We need to plan electrics to understand where we want things. So in the last one, we've got the battery to work. Another upgrade that is going to come is to be able to buy the Smart Pass to go along with the CTEK. This is so that we can add our other battery that we do have, so that we can have a total capacity of 440 amp hours.
Whoa.
So we want to get a lot of things done by the end of the summer, and that's because my parents are moving away, which leads us on to another exciting news for us, which is
We are moving in together. So the two of us and Sam's older sister, we are all moving in to a flat.
It's a brilliant flat. We'll have to share it with all you guys. But it's a great opportunity for us to actually save money, because just of the way the flat is owned by my dad, so we get to pay not as much as you usually would when you rent it, which means that we can save whilst we're living there.
Yeah, and it's also a nice opportunity, although we've been together for 6 years.
6 years.
6
Yeah,
years.
no, 5.5.
5.5. We've never really lived together, so it will be nice to be able to live together under the same roof before we then downsize dramatically when we live in the van. So we can work out if that we won't want to kill each other in the van.
By being in the flat and already, when we're packing to move in, we're already reducing our stuff anyway, just so that we have a lot of stuff that we don't need. And there are some good stuff that we have, and Holly does do a Depop, which we can link in. But also, whilst we're in the flat, it gives us another opportunity to get rid of stuff. So again, when we downsize into the van, we can minimalise how much stuff we need, only have the bare minimum to help us. People call it minimalism, but we'll just keep it as not having all this stuff.
So by moving into the flat, it still means that we're going to have 2 spaces to work on the van, obviously at the flat, and my mum is still staying where she is, so we've still got the driveway at my house and the garage where we can store things like wood. We will also film different videos. We'll film some of the flat when we move in. Once we've kind of done a bit more on the van, we'll fill you in a bit more about our plans for our route when we're travelling.
So yeah, hopefully that video was helpful to know what we've done and what we have planned for the future for the van, and also what we have happening in our lives. And it's exciting, so be exciting for us. And yeah, we'll try and keep the YouTube and the Instagram updated a bit more with stuff. It is difficult, but we will try and do it, and We will try and spend a bit more time on the videos, which will be a lot easier when we're in the flat, to make them a lot better, and hopefully both of us can improve on our skills of editing, filming, and all of that, just to make the videos a little bit more interesting for you to watch and for us to re-watch.
But yeah, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it,
Yeah.
and see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.